ダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ強いを避けても歪めない思い出がバカみたい
Okay, so that was an interesting opener there. What's up, everybody? It's Francisco here, joined by Andrew and Charles here for Sports Giz number 155. How you guys doing? How's it going? Andrew, what's up?
Tired, but good.
Good. Good job.
Tired is what I would say for me.
Well, we've got sports.
There's no good as you get older.
We got sports. Things happen. Sports are sporting. So that's fine. Baseball, basketball, hockey, football. The sports equinox is upon us. So that's great. Yeah. So, sheesh. I guess we'll jump. I don't know. We'll just jump into it, guys. Baseball World Series. It's set tomorrow. Philadelphia versus Houston. And yeah, though the ALCS and the NLCS was surprisingly short in some ways, with the way that the Phillies are just hot right now. So that's good. I mean, in some ways, it's funny seeing. I mean, Bryce Harper's he's him. Bryce Harper is him, guys. I don't know what you guys think about that, but he is him. He's worth every single cent that he is being paid. He's playing like an actual MVP in the playoffs, unlike certain other players on the other side. So, I think that's
Shohei Ohtani's not in this playoffs. How dare you?
So, yeah. So, the Phillies are... I don't know how I would feel if the Phillies won the World Series as far as the NL East is concerned. I mean, the balance of power has the Phillies, the Braves, the Marlins, and the Mets with 2, and the Nationals with 1. I don't count the Braves, Milwaukee, or Boston championships because I don't even think they count it. I mean, they do, but only just to try and one-up us. Even though 95 was a shortened year, so you just put an asterisk next to that one. So there you go. It's almost as Mickey Mouse's 2020 for LA. So that's there you go. And I don't know the balance of power with the Philadelphia team being the number 1 team in our division. I have no idea. So there's that. The fraud rays were the fraud rays.
Frauds.
They brought they could only muster 1 victory, and the games were good. I think it was still back and forth affair. The game 5 for Philadelphia, the way they came back was amazing, and just they got clutch hitting at just the right moments each and every time, and so at least the Padres put up they put up something. They got at least a victory in comparison to the ALCS. And Charles, let's not beat around the bush here. The New York Yankees lost.
I predicted it.
So there you go.
First off, Charles Stradamus is right.
Yep, the year of the Charles, but it's from rumors are saying the year of the Charles is not going to get what he wants because it seems like at the very least Aaron Boone is going to be coming back.
Well, there's 365 days in the year, and then I can only win 200 plus of them. So somewhere around that line, 3 months have to suck. This will be part of that 3-month cycle of it sucking. First off, I said the minute we got into the ALCS, we were going to get swept. Buy me those receipts. I will provide them. because I damn well sure
It was
said it.
I mean, might as well have just been last episode, because I did. Sheesh, the last episode we were talking about. Oh, it's going to be the Yankees won the division series last episode. It was that day, and then
yep,
yeah,
and
I'll have to re-listen to that.
It's so I put it in the chat too. Like there was no hesitation in me saying that we were going to get swept. We were tired, outclassed, bent. I'm okay with the 3-day pitching or the 3-day rest for starters in the division series. Never, ever in any kind of championship series game. Some people might say, "Oh, Charles, you're full of it. Why? That's bad coaching. That's bad managing." I'm like, not everybody has that capacity to run on that low amount of rest. These are not people just playing a pickup game of basketball doing basket-backs, right? We got affected by the weather. We went to Cleveland. Houston had a couple days rest, even though they did basically play 2 games. But with our pitching, Nestor was clearly uncomfortable on that mound. But we're going to start him. That's your manager that you're going to keep. And you have a couple other guys that you ought to take the opportunity to. But the bats were bad because disclaimer, out of the 3 of us, Andrew is the baseball guy who've actually done something in competition, right? You did the Little League and all that stuff. I just picked up a bat and I try to swing at balls. That's it. But common sense tells me part of managing and having a coaching staff is basically saying, read the pitcher. Know what they do. Don't strike at everything. And God forbid anybody listened, except for one man. Baby lip Giancarlo Stanton. We love him. But it is terrible for a team that everybody wanted to fall in love with, and everybody lied themselves. Y'all only cared and supported about the Yankees because of Aaron Judge this season. That's really what it was. And the minute they lost in a sweep, and plenty of teams got swept this postseason. The minute it happened, y'all fangs came out. It's not even long fangs because y'all teams can't even touch the playoffs. And if they do touch the playoffs, they're either eliminated in the first round, going to get relocated. I'm not drafted that to Andrew. I'm just saying in general as a Tampa Bay fan. So I read the Twitter. Yeah, you talk about there's always next year with the Dodgers. And then you're saying, we came this far without, what's his face? Without Fernando Tatis. So what I take from this is, 1, I'm right about baseball when it comes to Yankees and them sucking ass. 2, there's a lot of free agents that I don't want. 3, why isn't that we just kept every utility man and infielder out there when we should just had more pitching, especially if you're going to do weird bullpen stuff? When Peralta came out in the 3rd inning, I'm like, this is bad. He was the reason why we couldn't hang out with Cleveland in 2 of the games of the series. You left Aroldis Chapman off the thing. All right, don't bring in Aroldis. Bring somebody else in. I didn't need Aaron Hicks in there. And then because he tore his damn knee. It begs a lot of questions. And when people ask me, how do you feel about Judge not showing up? I'm like, when has he ever shown up in the postseason? At all. At best. Not really there. Giancarlo did. So I just don't understand, though, is that if you guys hate us so badly, how can you even root for the Astros? Who are the real bad guys in all of this?
I wanted you to win.
Yeah, no one, let's be honest here. No one really wanted, I think, anybody from the ALCS to win it. It was just the lesser of evils. What we all wanted
plenty of images with Stalin versus Hitler type of things. So
yeah, like you can have it as wanting to win because even though the Astros, and we talked about this, I think, at the very beginning of the baseball season, there's a lot of there's not really acronymity in me for what happened in 2017. It's been almost 5 years, except for one man, Jose Altuve, and he did nothing in this ALCS. I think his stats were over 17 at his at bats. So
yeah, he was like 1 for 30 or something, he was like a massive over.
Yeah, and there was that Pena kid who's like a rookie, and everybody wants to lick his nuts now.
Yeah.
Good luck. Let's see how long your fame lasts if you keep striking out to people in Philly. Because let me tell you something, it's very short-lived when you come to that ego. Look at Josh Naylor. Look what happened to Mr. Baby Carry. But no one really wanted the Yankees to win, and people revel in ourselves to lose because it's what keeps us relevant is the hate, not the championships. There's not going to be a championship for a very long time. But it's the hatred that keeps people in it and want it and cultivate it and culture it. because it's the same hatred that the Dodgers get. It's the same hatred that Boston gets. Houston doesn't even have that hatred. I'm going to tell you why Houston doesn't have that hatred yet. You take away that cheating year that they had, all they've had in the World Series is losses, right? So This is the 4th time in 6 seasons, and if they bust that nut too early, they're not going to be. They're going to become basically cheating Dodgers.
They've lost to every NL East team thus far, except the Marlins. The Marlins and the Mets are the last ones left. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, to talk about another team, people don't even take the Marlins seriously, or the Mets seriously. That's what cracks me up. But I'm very pro, team F. Joe Girardi, because I just think it's humorous. It is humorous to me that the guy gets fired. His whole team goes to the World Series in a very well managed series. I thought the Padres and the Phillies actually did something. And that's crazy thing about Philadelphia. When you actually look at that roster, you're like, damn, how come this was never a contender to begin with? And it was always because Joe is out there.
They had a bullpen game. They had a bullpen game between the Phillies and the Padres, and the. I think the way that was basically a manager's duel, really. Like they had guys who were just literally there just for 2 innings of work that they were supposed to be in, and both of them sucked. Heck, the Padres was Clevenger. Clevenger was the Padres starter, and he didn't even get an out. So that was insane. I think it was the MLB record for the lowest amount of batters faced or innings pitched for 2 starting pitchers in a playoff game. It was insane. But that was a manager's duel more than anything else. Between Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin did his best. I think it was pretty cool. But that was insane. But yeah.
I think my takeaway, and this is where I'll leave it, because I'm not going to do the World Series predictions. I said in the very beginning, the Astros get the shit out of me. They still do it now. So they'll probably actually win it this go around. So good for Dusty. But I think the takeaway I take from this is that it reemphasizes, and we talked about last week, because I did re-listen to a little bit of the show to figure out my cadence, which I haven't done in a while, is that whoever wins, this is the scary message to the MLB that the big market, not even the big market, the teams willing to spend appropriately instead of on one guy is going to have that credibility to boost into it. So now we see, though I can't stand Ben Verlander running on his brother's coattails. Could you imagine that? I can see him at the bar picking somebody up. Do you know my brother? Because I have this image that he speaks like
there was a tweet of him.
Ranger.
There was a tweet of him like celebrating his brother going to the World Series, and it looked so fake. Like he doesn't act like a real human being. He just spews.
I can imagine him at the bar going, "My brother Justin has 2 World Series rings out."
The Jackson Mahomes of baseball. That's what they call him.
How'd you feel about it, Andrew? You're quite quiet over there. In regards to what you're seeing in baseball, is the World Series even worth watching?
I mean, now that things have gotten busier for me, I'll probably try to catch at least elimination games.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been my MO the past few years. If my team is not in a championship, it isn't in the playoffs, I'll watch elimination games just to see the trophy raising. And I'll keep an eye on it from afar, and I'll check the scores, but I won't. It doesn't really matter the sport. Baseball, the only exception is the Super Bowl. Although I guess that's technically
it's one game, so I get the logic.
It's just tough for me to dedicate, 2, 3 hours. Like I was bummed that the Rays were eliminated so early, but at the same time it was kind of a blessing. Because then I knew, because if my team's in the playoffs, I'm watching their games. So, that was kind of something annoying during bar prep is, the Lightning are going so far in the playoffs. I'm like, God damn it. That's another 3 hours But luckily, most of the games are at night, so I wouldn't be studying. But my point being that I'm not singling out baseball in this regard. It's the same thing with any sport. Like the NBA last year, I didn't watch until the fourth quarter of the last game just so I could see the trophy raise.
Yeah, and you're not a big basketball guy anyways. Though maybe somebody in Orlando might actually get you to care this season. Have you been following your boy?
Pablo Banchero!
Yeah, fake Patrick Mahomes.
I haven't been following the season, but I see the ESPN alert saying that he's like tearing it up. So I'm like, okay, finally someone good for the Magic.
It's also only been like 4 games, so there's not much one can evaluate.
Yeah, but hey, it's a good start. Rookie of the Year season, maybe, if he keeps it up, for sure.
Yeah. And what this does is it gives the Magic a lot of credibility when it comes to high draft picks, because you got to think of the talent they've had that they've picked up. You know, Shaq being one of them, Howard being one of them. Paolo wasn't number 1, was he?
Wasn't he?
I forgot who was already number 1 because my cat just headbutted my
1.
OLED television. About to fight my cat over here. You guys
Paolo
missed the humor in
Banchero.
comedy. Why would you do that, cat?
Paolo Napoleon James Banchero. That's his full name. He was selected. Yeah, he was number 1 pick. So there you go.
I left for a second because I had punished the animal for daring to touch Ramona. But what happened to Paolo?
Yeah, he was number 1.
Listen, you cannot headbutt. Oh, okay, so there you go. It hits the trend of like hitting it right as opposed to Philly, who doesn't do anything correct at all. So that's a good trend to have, man.
Yeah.
Does it mean someone else is going to go win a ring elsewhere in LA?
So
it fulfills the trend. In 10 years from now, Paolo will be a Laker.
So now...
Yeah, that's the problem is all of our number 1 picks, our good number 1 picks, go somewhere else. You hit the nail on the head there.
No, it's because you guys need to actually start paying people. So that's the, you know...
Basketball's not a loyal sport either for a lot of players. Michael Jordan went to the Wizards, and people seem to forget that.
Well, that was kind of a weird situation. It was a little different. I think maybe KD is probably like the quintessential example of a guy that was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going someplace else. All right. So yeah, I mean, is that it for baseball, guys? That's basically it, right? As far as the playoffs are concerned.
I got one on there. Well, Bruce Bochy is now the manager of the Rangers. Bochy. I always said Bochy.
He's not the sport for old Italian guys.
Well,
that's the New York.
That's his marketability. So Bochy. So he's manager of Rangers. Not that I think it makes a difference, but this is a manager who, if there's anybody that can fix an ass team, it's him. I believe in it.
Yeah, and the Marlins hired a guy today. So. They added a candidate for the handsomest managers competition, guys. So Skip Shoemaker is now the 42 years old. So he's up there. So he's gonna be the manager of the Marlins. It's not gonna do anything for us unless we actually go and get some hitters. So right now, everybody sounds excited. A bunch of players are excited. Rave reviews from his former teammates and with the Cardinals and all that stuff, and he comes from the Cardinals organization and was a bench coach with them, so he's got some experience with that. And I mean, there were a couple Marlins fans who were upset because they wanted Joe Espada, who's I think the bench coach of the Astros right now. But I mean, yeah, whatever. And he was a former third base coach for the Marlins, so it doesn't. I get that, but I mean, none of this matters unless the Marlins actually go out and get some hitters. And there's a bunch of them out in free agency, and can I at least try and get one, right? Can we get one? Can we get Aaron Judge to come here? Yeah, right. He's not coming here.
Take him. I don't want him. I don't want him. On the record, I'm saying it right now. I don't want Aaron Judge on this team next year. They'll sign him because they're not going to let anybody else help him. But what's the point?
All right. So that was that, and then I don't think there's any other baseball news aside from that. Okay. Well, I don't know. We're 20 minutes in, guys. So I've got corn dogs on the brain. So, Andrew, where is that place that they showed the corn dogs at? I want to know. No
What
contest.
the college football?
Yeah, is there like a college that's famous for the corn dogs or something?
No, it was at a state fair, I believe.
Oh, is that the Texas State Fair for the Cotton Bowl, whatever?
No.
I want to know what game those guys were calling that were eating the corn dogs and the burger.
I'm checking it out.
Because I sent something in the group chat that I believe if we called college football, that would be us. I'd be on play-by-play. Charles would be the color analyst, and Andrew would be the sideline reporter.
I was pretty sure that this was the answer, but I wanted to confirm it. It was the South Carolina-Texas A&M game.
Oh, okay.
It was the nearby South Carolina State Fair.
Okay. I don't know, man. I after I saw that, I had a hankering for corn dogs. So I bought corn dogs over this past weekend, guys. And then let me tell you, what an amazing treat. I don't know who invented corn dogs, and this sounds like something an Andrewverse could really help us with. but man, corn dogs are awesome. I don't know if I do the mad scientist thing and try and make it for myself. I don't have a deep fryer. That's my issue, guys. But
don't you need a special kind of cornbreading as well? So
well, yeah, I mean that, but I want to know if there's any sort of like way I can kind of mess around with the format, you know? Like
okay, so doing a quick Wikipedia search, I found the answer.
Here we go. Let's do it.
So, newly arrived German immigrants in Texas who were sausage makers finding resistance to the sausages they used to make, have been credited with introducing the corn dog to the United States, though the serving stick came later. A U.S. patent filed in 1927, granted in 1929, for a combined dipping, cooking, and article holding apparatus, described corn dogs, among other fried food impaled on a stick. It reads in part, I have discovered that articles of food such, for instance, as wieners, boiled ham, hard-boiled eggs, cheese, sliced peaches, pineapples, bananas, and like fruit, and cherries, dates, figs, strawberries, etc., when impaled on sticks and dipped in batter, which includes in its ingredients a self-rising flour, and then deep fried in a vegetable oil at a temperature of about 390 degrees Fahrenheit, the resultant food product on a stick for a handle is a clean, wholesome, and tasty refreshment.
America.
Yes. The American dream, everybody. The corn dogs are a symbol of the American dream. Texas, huh?
I feel like what happened was they saw a popsicle and they're like, what if we just had, on a hot dog on a stick, and then they had to find the in-between.
I mean, I don't know, man, but it's just an amazing vessel for food.
Like, who really says no to a corn dog, too? Like, if you offered it to me right now, it's that implication, like, if you held out a piece of gum, I'm like, yeah. I'm not going to say no to it. It's fine.
They have the breakfast version.
You look forward to it. It's probably... They have a breakfast version? How do you have a breakfast version?
Well, I think the batter is like the same thing as a pancake mix.
Oh,
with the breakfast sausage instead of
really?
Yeah. You never see it. They sell them at the freaking frozen food aisle.
No.
Yeah, they make a breakfast version of it.
I don't really buy frozen foods. Listen, I'm on the end game of life. I don't really cook anymore. It's just going to be whatever's in there fresh, or I eat a sandwich and then I go out and have takeout. So, when I guess before I expire from this world, I should probably make an attempt to have that kind of hot dog or that breakfast dog.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing when you have a breakfast burrito. Just breakfast burritos or regular burritos. Yeah. I know that's controversial. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I got breakfast corn dogs. Here we go. Yeah, pancake dogs. So yeah, they sell them at the store. So that's and sometimes you sprinkle a little bit of sugar on it, and boom, that's that. Okay, we're at 25 minutes. I really don't know where to go from here, guys. You want to talk about Titans' new stadium?
Sure.
Why not? Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So the Titans have announced.
This will be a very, very scattered thought.
Yeah, the Titans have a brand new stadium that's being built. I guess somewhere in Nashville. I don't know what. Charles, you're a Titans fan. What do you think of this thing that they're doing?
It is hard to figure out anything of a stadium until it's actually completed, and I can't even tell you if it's going to be yay or nay, considering the fact that I will probably never in my life go to the stadium. And it's not because I don't want to travel to Tennessee. Just as I get older, I become very resistant to going to football stadiums because it's just too damn hot. Like, I've been to the Hard Rock Stadium several times to see the Titans play, even Tampa play, and it's just sticky, nasty, and the weather's going to be different. I'm not acclimated to that, and I'm lazy, folks. I'm like super lazy.
I mean,
I think it's nice.
They're building a roof for that very reason.
It's very nice.
So it won't be hot and sticky there.
$2.4 billion. Well, that's a problem. You have all these roofs, but no one closes the damn thing, man. It's like I'm dying here, fighting for my life. I feel like the R. Kelly meme. But I know they're supposed to have Topgolf on there too. Did I read that correctly?
No,
when you had said it out,
they compared
it. Was
that
a joke?
No, that was a joke. It looks like a Topgolf.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
They're gonna turn Marlins Park into a Topgolf. So for the off season.
There you go.
So I said
it just doesn't have. I would say get it now. I think this is a good idea now because I think our window is for another 2 years, I would say, before the end times
everybody
happen.
Likes him. Yeah.
Because it's going to be over.
Everybody forgot about Jeff Fisher.
Whether it's the ghost of Christmas past, that is Matt Ryan, and his body leaving. The Colts will eventually find a quarterback. The Jaguars will learn not to suck, and Houston will, take at least 1 year to be good instead of being mid for 5 years like they currently are now. I gotta believe in it. So strike it while it's hot. So you could be like a lot of other people where it's like, our team sucks now, but we have a sweet new stadium, guys, because you gotta give them incentivization for people to want to go.
Yeah.
So that itself could work. I mean, like I said, I just look at the logistics of it, and it's fine. But I think no new stadium is ever going to be a bad stadium to begin with. I think you guys would agree with me, right? It's the ones.
Now that they're making them, it's smaller than the one you guys have now. I mean, as far as seats are concerned, but it's going to have way more better stuff. So,
I've only been to 2 football stadiums. That was both Miami and then the Bucks. No, that's a lie. I've been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. How do I forget that when I went to see the Saints play? And to this day, I think the Bucks had the coolest stadium because they had the little cannons and everything. Mercedes-Benz was cool just because of the people. It was a stacked house, man. Going on there, and then the Dolphins Stadium is it's okay. I wasn't in love with it.
Andrew, what do you think of the new stadium for Tennessee?
I haven't had a chance to see it.
It's on the video screen. I mean, I have it on the video if you want to see it on your on the Messenger browser there. It looks impressive. Renders are, it's going to be nice to go there for a game. I'm sure they're going to host a...
It looks like a fucking Trader Joe's.
Topgolf.
That's how we're going to get the early 20-year-old college kids to pay their money.
No, not... Francisco, what's the name of that grocery store across from your office?
Oh, Fresh Market.
Yeah, it looks like a Fresh Market.
Yeah, that basically.
It looks like that Fresh Market.
Yep. That's basically it. That's what it looks like.
I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, it's just, whatever postmodern, whatever you want to call this design, the sleekness and all that stuff.
Here's the thing. If this was, say, 10 years ago, this would have looked amazing. But the problem is everything looks amazing now.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that line from The Incredibles. When everyone's super, no one will be.
Yeah.
It's when the villain is talking about how he wants to give everyone superpowers. That kind of strikes me as kind of what's going on with stadium design now. Like, Globe Life Park, the Rangers' new stadium.
Yeah. Well, that looks like a charbroiled grill more than anything else.
Yeah, but it's so boring. But if that had been built like 10 years ago, I would have thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's boring now because
it looks like everything else.
Exactly. I mean, I'll give them props. This appears to have a lot of kind of wood-like elements, which...
Yeah, or stone. Brick.
Which I'll admit that those look quite nice, and it does have a lot of foliage. Glass is always a winner for me. Not too much. But I mean, in the grand scheme of these new contemporary-looking buildings, it's quite nice. Also, by the way, I'm going to get a little political here, but I think you're going to see pretty much every new stadium built these days going to have roofs on it just due to climate change.
Yeah, that's actually...
I'm also okay with anything roof-based just because the weather inclement. Nah, I want a clean game. I don't need to see like that thing that happened with the Bears and Niners. Everything is just drenched wet.
Yeah, I think that's... Even though Chicago is proposing putting a roof over Soldier Field now.
And it's kind of sad because, nothing beats, going to a spring training game in mid to late March, early April, down here in Florida when it's still a bit crisp, but not freezing either. There's something to be said about being outdoors for a sporting event. And don't get me wrong, it's untenable in places like Miami, just due to the scorching heat and the rain. I love that air conditioning.
I mean, look how go back to baseball with the Yankees and the Guardians series with the rain delay, and how they get like that whole thing would have been avoided if Yankee Stadium had a roof. Which now you're gonna think, well, are like teams gonna start retrofitting roofs on top of their places now, just for the sake of one to because the Titans are doing this not because their stadium is crap right now, because their stadium is perfectly fine, but they want more revenue because they're seeing, Atlanta is always hosting the Final Four and the Super Bowl and the college football national championship game. So like they're gonna be looking at them like, well, let's get in on that. Like, we're Nashville, we can do that too. So you're gonna have other cities. Dallas has already got their stuff ready to go for any and all situations. Like, there's very few places where they're just like okay with not having the whole thing enclosed. And watch, I bet at some point Miami's gonna be like,
they need it because.
I mean, like, I think like
Miami.
Miami.
They need it in Tennessee.
Are we delayed? We might be slightly delayed with our communications here.
I might be delayed. I said they need it in Tennessee because in January there's weather, climate, like snow and everything, and they tried that once in New York.
Yeah, the New York one was kind of weird. They just wanted to do a New York one just to do a New York one, and I think they just got out of the way. But like, you have other cities, Minnesota. They had to put one there. But Chicago's gonna want one. But I think the Bears want to move out of the city, so we'll see what happens there. And then the Rangers built a new one just for the fact that they didn't want to be in the sun anymore. So I think you're going to see other teams that have, I guess, stadiums maybe around the same age as the Titans try and look like, hey, maybe we should put a roof or some sort of structure like that. I could see the Bucks doing it because the Dolphins, for the most part, just enclose their stadium except for the field itself. And the Bucks, the same architect made the Bucks Stadium, so I could see them doing something like retrofitting a roof structure up there. So you're going to see...
And God knows Vinnick has the money to do it.
Yeah. He owns the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sheesh. And then you've got the
Oh wait, is that the Blazers? Hold on.
The Glazers own the Bucks.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So like yeah. No, so you got them.
I'm sure they have a decent amount of money as well.
You know, you got that. I mean, the
They're also
California
notoriously
teams.
cheap, though.
It doesn't really matter in California. It barely rains there, anyways. So that's not really a thing. But like, sheesh, what are the teams? I think that's for the most part. Maybe Carolina. Maybe Carolina might do something like that, where they would. But and maybe some of the northern cities, like I said, Chicago is probably going to go that route and have a roofed stadium. Detroit's already got one. Indianapolis has one, so they're going to go that route as well. Buffalo's going to make one. So all these teams are not only doing that so they can have like, you know, concerts and a bunch of stuff year round and to host the big games and the big Super Bowls and, you know, big soccer matches and stuff. It won't be relegated. And I could see like MetLife in New York just like, you know what, let's retrofit let's ask for $1 billion more in public money and add a roof to our structure just to have a roof. I could see that happening. Maybe even New England as well. So watch, they're either going to build new stadiums or they're going to retrofit them with roofs, with whatever is still left at this point. So the Titans went the whole route with building a brand new one, and because they don't want, and they also seating capacity is lowered now too, because it's not as important to have 80,000 plus people anymore. It's 60,000, but you're charging them more for a more prime experience at this point. That's the big ticket stuff now is the experience, and they want you there. They basically are making a giant amusement park / mall that you can spend your entire day at for the game. So that's the idea, and that's why Stephen Ross is doing all that stuff in his wacky world over there. He's building that whole thing up just so you could spend the entire day there. So yeah, all right, cool. Let's see, we're at 37 minutes, and this is more on the fly, but I did want to talk about this. I think Andrew's going to get all hot and flustered for this. Do you want to talk about the reverse retro uniforms? Andrew?
Sure.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten your, you know, we're logo files, and Charles, you know, he's not, he's becoming more versed with the hockey stuff, so let's go with the reverse retro uniforms. Because they just came out.
I'm becoming very cultured.
Yes. So those just came out, and those were pretty cool. Yes, Andrew?
I'm going to, just for my viewing pleasure, I'm going to pull up the reverse retros as well so I can look at them.
Okay.
Do we want to go down the line and vote on which we think is our favorite?
I'm going to pull up, probably just going to pull up Chris Creamer's stuff from sportslogos.net. So let me just do that, and then we'll see. I'm trying to get this Titan stuff off the freaking screen. That's what Charles says every Sunday.
Oh man, I was enjoying this though. When we get to the football segment, I'll
that's gonna
jump
be
on
fun.
it.
It's gonna be fun for you. That's for sure. I'm trying to. Why isn't this doing the thing? I'm trying to make it revert back to. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, so let's see, sportslogos.net. So yeah, Adidas has
Fuck Adidas, but okay.
well, they finally took forever, but they finally did what they had to do.
That's the problem. They took for fucking ever to do it. It's like a no-brainer.
They're a German company. If you wanna go deeper into that.
Well, I know. Their founder supported the Nazis. So it's like, of all the companies that wouldn't want to appear like they were siding with a raging anti-Semite, it would be fucking Adidas.
I mean, it kind of seems like it's keeping appearances from what you guys just said.
And it is. It really is.
Like, so here, Adidas, their founder was Adolf Dassler.
Oof, that's a great first name to have.
Not a name you hear common anymore, boys.
and I'm not calling on him because his first name is Adolf, because that was a common name. It's
very common in Argentina.
But
Argentina catching strays right now.
We'd be calling Adolfo.
Mm. Adolfo Heinzler. Plenty of Heimler or whatever. Himmlers out in Argentina for some weird reason. You know, white people with blue eyes. Working. They don't look like gauchos for sure.
Andrew had just got destroyed.
No, I mean, geez.
Fuck Adidas is basically the long story short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
was correct. So, Adidas was founded by Nazis.
Are they a far felon?
Well, there were two brothers that had one company. There was
the split between Adidas and Puma.
The non-Nazi brother founded Puma.
Yeah.
So, go Puma.
My favorite shoe company.
Which is owned partially by Jay-Z, right? Or Jay-Z's having a director part to it, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, but they make Sonic and Mario shoes.
Some kind of creative input. Hold on. I'm going to have to see this now because this is how it's going to tell us we're never going to get Watch the Throne ever again. I'm sorry, Andrew. Jay-Z's budget-friendly Puma sneakers. Yes.
All right.
Yes!
All right.
You're on a side. Are you on side Yee or side Jay-Z?
Yeah.
You rock with the Hove kids.
Well, I have to go with Jay-Z. I mean, for one thing, he's not a complete psycho.
That's true.
Oh, and for anyone wondering, I am Jewish. Come at me if you want to be anti-Semitic and shit. I don't care, because fuck you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway,
Everybody knows our love for food, though. They can't find us on that. Like, those guys just talked about corn dogs. How can we hate them?
Yeah, whatever. So, anyways, fuck anti-Semites and Kanye West and all that stuff. So, all right, Andrew, want to do something a little more fun, all right? All right.
Yeah.
Buy Puma. Buy Puma. Sponsor us. I have so many pairs of your shoes.
Also, the Twitter Puma.
You got the drops with the Mario shoes. They had the Mario shoes they had like the 3 versions with the Mario 64, Mario Sunshines, and Mario Galaxy ones, which I couldn't find because they got scalped like crazy. They got the Sonic line as well. They've had a few Sonic shoes. So, just give me the shoes. That's all I want. I want the shoes. Okay. All right, so Reverse Retro Adidas did come out with these. So we're going to go team by team. I'm going down the list here from sportslogos.net. All right, Andrew, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so first...
Well, we're going alphabetical, yeah?
I'm going on Chris Creamer's site, and I'm going down his order. So, and I think he went alphabetical. Yeah, Anaheim. So first team is Anaheim. The Ducks. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. So there you go. That's Anaheim.
I'll be honest. If I'm being honest, I'm not a huge fan of I much prefer the old eggplant and green look that they used to have back when they were the Mighty Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to stick with this orange thing, I would prefer this to be their jersey going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it has the uniqueness of like the slanted lines.
I don't hate it.
The classic Mighty Ducks logo, which everybody loves, and everybody's like, just be that. Nobody likes your D logo, right? Nobody wants the D. Okay, Anaheim. And yeah, I mean, this is fine. It's they had an orange version of this, I think, as like a semi throwback a couple years back, and then last year they just had the Mighty Duck bursting out of the ice, Wild Wing. But this year,
awesome.
Yeah, this year they just went with their old stripes, but in their current colors. So it's just fine.
Which, like, this would be an awesome look.
Yeah,
full time.
Yeah. But their ownership tries to separate themselves from Disney, the Disney era.
like, look, I get it that some uniform, like UCF space uniforms in football, people are like, UCF, excuse me, UCF needs to be the Citronauts all the time. They need to always wear space uniforms. It's like, yeah, they're cool, but it kind of loses the specialness of it if you're wearing it all the time. You know, that's the whole point, is you wear it once a year, really make a big deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is one where I don't think it would overstay its welcome if it came back permanently.
Right. Yeah. And the Ducks colors aren't bad. They're just
They're not bad.
They're not bad. I mean, they went with it's Orange County. That's why they have orange. It's just because they play in Orange County. So, okay, that's fine.
It's not a bad color scheme. It's just I prefer the other one.
All right. Okay, so that's Anaheim. Next is Arizona with a Sedona orange, burnt orange type of look to it, with the Coyote on Acid look, with the landscape on the bottom as their stripes. So this is a new color that the Coyotes have come out with. They've never used this color before, and a lot of people have been fans of the Coyote on Acid in any color. I think last year was it in green or in purple last year? I think it was one of those two. But yeah, I mean, I like the wackiness of the Coyote on Acid, that's for sure. I can really just see this as a one-off more than anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't want this to be a permanent thing.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything more? We'll move on. We'll go from there.
Let's move on.
All right. Next is the Boston Bruins, who've brought back Winnie the Pooh. So this jersey is instantly banned in China, and it's the it was originally a yellow jersey. This time it's white, and it's got the furry looking bear stripes on the bottom in black and yellow, and they have a realistic looking brown bear in the middle with big giant Bruins type on their shoulders. So this was a very bold looking look. There's Charles's boy Brad Marchand showing off the jersey.
Isn't that the weirdest bear you've ever seen in your life? It reminds me of the bear from the Cleveland show. A little bit.
It kind of makes sense.
Let me say this. This design, well, not this specific design, but what they're reversing was one of, if not the first third jersey in NHL history.
It's true. It was the first line of jerseys.
It was them, the Burger King jersey for the Kings, and then the Wild Wing breaking through the ice was kind of like the first few.
So there you go. All right. I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty cool that they brought back the realistic looking bear. But there's something about it that I don't. Maybe it's too realistic for me. I don't know. Not sure. And the wacky stripes and everything. I mean, I think it's fine, but I don't know. I don't see it as part of Boston's entire look. And the fact that they're using brown on the actual bear, nothing in nowhere else, kind of, I don't know. It just one off for me too on this one. Okay, next is Buffalo, and they brought back what is called the goat head, with the more angry looking saber or buffalo in the middle, but instead of black and red, they just have it in their current colors of blue and yellow and white. So I like it. I'm a fan. I think this is, if they had to have a third jersey, they just use this.
I agree.
And of course, I'm sure Andrew loves it because it, Dominic Hasek's look from back then.
Yeah, that was the look of the Sabres growing up for me. I started getting into hockey around like 97, 98, 99. So, man, Panthers added AutoNation as their sweater sponsor.
Yeah, it's because Wayne Huizenga was the founder, and they're in Fort Lauderdale, so yeah.
So yeah, it that's my Buffalo Sabres. I know that was a very, in the grand scheme of the franchise, very small amount of time, but that was what they wore when I became
probably their most
sport.
Successful time in their history.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a great logo.
It's a great logo.
It doesn't matter what color you put it in.
Yeah, it's a great logo. I like you said, I'd love to see that become kind of a permanent third, or if not the third, but brought out every now and then.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Buffalo. Next is Calgary, who have brought back this weird design with the crossed, diagonal stripe, and I guess in some sort of way a little like the Portland Trailblazers in a sense, but this time in black. Before they just had it in red and white, and it's different, that's for sure. Not really a fan of it in black, to be honest. And for some, I guess
it's got a lot going on the bottom.
Yeah, it's yeah. Once again, it's different. I think this was when Jerome McGinley was part of the team. That's when this debuted.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It
reminds me of like the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Sign, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they're doing well. Dame is doing good so far. All right. I mean, what do you think, Andrew? It's one off for me. I don't need this to come back.
Yeah.
They have such an amazing current jersey.
Fine.
It's like
the problem is they don't really have a lot. That franchise does not really have a lot of variation in their looks.
Right.
And they got the main one out of the way last year with the horse head.
Yeah.
So it's like, after that was the no-brainer.
Yeah.
But after that, it's kind of like, honestly, I think I don't see the reverse. As much as I love the reverse retro, seeing these new uniforms, I don't see this lasting beyond like next season, because by that point you're running out of a lot of jersey options, and you're going to have to start repeating.
Yeah. So. I agree with you with that. There's not some teams really don't have many designs. Heck, the Red Wings have already run out.
I know, or like Montreal or Toronto. It's especially for those.
Look at the Carolina Hurricanes. They basically went back to like a couple seasons ago.
I know.
They're like, hey, let's just get our white jerseys. We'll just make them in red. That was it. This is the Carolina Hurricanes. Nothing more.
Which I want to say about this, first off, Hurricanes, screw you for getting rid of your original home jerseys. Those were amazing. I loved the Hurricane flags as your stripe. Like, so simple to differentiate yourselves, and you went away from it. It's like, no, you guys are from the 90s. Lean into that craziness a bit. And it's not that crazy either.
Well, they finally this season they kind of sort of brought it back. They've made the actual, storm flag stripes on the bottom pop out again. Like they're already trying to re-embrace it. So, but now they have just the storm flag as their main black jersey now. So
yeah,
so that's they needed a red jersey, so they're like, oh, let's just use this. So it seemed like they were finally. And then I guess they went on that playoff run. And it's like, okay, we're just black now for now. Well, they'll go back. Don't worry, this is just a trend for now. I don't think they'll. I think they'll eventually go back to red. But maybe they want to differentiate themselves because there's so many teams already in red in the NHL. Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, who are also running out of designs, Andrew, like you said, because they've been in so many outdoor games that they've made versions of their past jerseys that there's not really much left.
Right.
So, like, out of all the design, like, this isn't one of my favorite past Chicago designs being brought back. It's
ugly.
It is. It's pretty ugly. I don't like it. Nope.
Yeah,
It's just plain compared to whatever, and no. All right, next, Colorado.
I really like this one. It's simple, but it does the job well.
Yeah. Yeah, the Avs are.
It looks like Capsule Core.
They've leaned more into harkening back to the Rockies now with the C logo and everything, and now in the colors of the Colorado state flag and the old Colorado Rockies before that. Hockey team, Charles, not the baseball team. So, well,
but
yeah,
that C logo is you said the state flag, so
it makes sense.
And Charles, just to kind of give you an idea, so the Rockies, the hockey team, was from the 70s. In like the early to mid 80s, they moved to New Jersey, where they still reside as the Devils.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Rockies became a baseball team. So,
Right.
All right. Next are the.
That's like, why would they even have the same franchise name to it?
I don't know. There's mountains. Denver's not really an exciting city, guys. I told you. there's not much more to go on. All right. Columbus, the Blue Jackets.
Boring.
Yeah, this is their original look. This time in black. Last year they did it in red, and now they did it in black. And it's.
But again, this is a franchise that
Doesn't have much.
They don't have much to go on. I don't think they're legally allowed to drink yet. They're that young.
They're from 2000, yeah. So it's yeah. So
or maybe they're just barely able to drink.
It's a no for me,
but
dog.
It's like. Did they use the bug last year?
Yeah,
blue
they
jacket?
used the old CB logo with a stinger on their
It's
patch.
like, what else can you go on at this
And it was in
point?
red.
Maybe the cannon.
Yeah, that
one
was kind of
from
what people
years
thought would
ago.
be. It would be like the cannon in like red or something like that. So
It's like there's not much more that these younger franchises can work off of.
okay, next are the Dallas Stars, who also have a black one. It looks pretty much like the Columbus one, except black and then green. And this is the way the Stars look when they first got to Dallas. So now it's just.
Yeah, I don't see how it's a difference from anything.
Yeah, it's there.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's kind of like okay, all right, plain jersey. I mean, I could see
A lot of people, though, a lot of people were hoping that the Muteris would be.
That's
brought back.
basically, and like you said, as far as like limited amount of options, really that's all that's left for the Stars.
That's all they've got left.
Except for like that era where they just had Dallas on the front, which is an ugly
so
era, and I don't know if they'll go back to that either. So, next, the Detroit Red Wings, who copied and pasted the Chicago Blackhawks.
It's like, yeah,
It's bad.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a bad one, and this is the first time they're using black in their color scheme. They've only been white and red. That's their only two colors. Last year they brought in silver, and this year, because they only have two colors, they brought in black. So it's a bad one. It's ugly. I don't know. Okay. Ready, Andrew? Next.
Edmonton.
The Oilers brought back the Todd McFarlane jersey. So,
I know that it's maligned. I know that it's maligned by a few people, but I like it.
It's different. Yeah, the Todd McFarlane jersey.
It looks like a Mega Man icon.
Well, that's true. That's true. That is with the gear. Each part of the gear represents one of their Stanley Cups, so that's why there's 5. And then they have the orange drop this time instead of a navy blue drop. And
it pops more.
Yeah, and then it's just a navy blue jersey. Just kind of flip the colors around there with the stripes. And I mean, it's fine. I don't mind it as a third jersey because the Oilers don't really have anything else as an alternate logo. So it's fine. I like it. I don't mind it. They went back to their regular royal blue jerseys again, which is great. I don't know why they keep trying to change their home uniforms. It's dumb. It's you won 5 Stanley Cups with some of the greatest players of all time. Why are you going to change it? Okay, so that's Edmonton. Next, Florida.
Probably my favorite of the reverse retro.
It's gotten number 1 on most people's list, and it's got me thinking: do I drop $200 on a authentic version of this? I hope there's replicas.
I'll tell you off air. There's a way to get it for a lot cheaper.
Andrew with the hookup. As long as they're not like those cheap Chinese versions that I see on eBay.
No. It's legit. It's legit.
All right. Yeah, so the Panthers finally put the hockey stick and palm tree on the front this time. And then they brought back their FLA sun logo on the shoulders. And their stripes are from their original home jerseys.
Oh, shit. You know what I just realized?
What?
I apologize for interrupting, but I was scrolling through and I just realized something. If you look at the NHL logo on the...
Yeah, they're orange.
It's orange. It's the old color.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, so that's another touch that they did here. So, I mean, the only thing I don't know, I would have changed is maybe the collar instead of being that blue color, maybe the yellow to kind of differentiate it from the rest.
Yeah.
Or maybe even red, not sure. Or maybe navy blue. But either, like, on the original homes, they were navy blue, so I don't know why it wasn't that, just to give it a little bit more symmetry. But either way, a lot of people think this is a winner. This is I guess they decided to create a brand new blue color because this is different than the one they had in their old alternates from 2009. It's a different shade of blue. It's the one that pops up on their All-Star Game logo for this year. So I think they're just following what the Miami Heat did, which was develop a whole new color scheme just for an alternate look. It's working for a lot of teams now, and I'm a massive fan. So, yeah.
I'm really hoping, and I get that it's reverse retro, but I'm really hoping that this might be the beginning of maybe a transition in your uniforms to something more like the original set, because yours is so boring right now. I listen, I get that your owner was some West Point guy and he
I guess there is some navy blue on it, but it's a little more
it's
closer.
in the colors.
Yeah.
In the numbers.
No, it's on the collar. On the collar, you see it?
Oh,
There's a little bit more than there is. Well, either way, I think it should have gone all the way. Anyways, yeah, I mean, so a lot of Panthers fans, there's a legion of them. And look, I called for them to change the things and the look and all that stuff. I don't mind the way they look right now. And it's honestly the best that they've played since '96. So, but I can see, I don't mind having, like I said, I think teams should have alternate looks. Like the Heat have done with the Vice look. That was great for a few seasons. In fact, I think they should keep it anyways. And then like the Panthers can have like a retro inspired alternate look with this navy blue color, and maybe like a alternate with this and this lighter blue color, this like ocean blue, whatever you want to call this. Yeah, so I'm a massive fan. So cool, go Florida, and I might actually buy it. Okay, the Kings went with the old purple and gold Lakers colors. There you go.
I like the crown.
Yeah, well, it's their retro
That's
crown.
their old logo.
Yeah,
That's a good I mean, the color scheme is cheesy, but I get it. But that's a damn good crown.
Yeah, everybody loves that crown. And this was their old yellow jerseys. Now they actually have it in white. They never wore this in white, and that's why they have it in white now. So there you go. They basically they had the same color scheme as the Lakers for a long time. And yeah, I mean it's good. I think all the not the Lakers, all the Kings retro stuff looks good. Like that purple and gold. As much as like we can hate the Lakers, it looks good on the Kings. It really does. I love that look.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's how they did the segue too, with the gold inside the brim of the crown itself.
Yeah. Like everything about that look is
it's clean, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like when I think about the Miami Vice colors that we had, is it something that would make a non-fan want to wear?
Yeah.
That jersey makes me want to wear a LA Kings jersey.
Yeah.
That design.
Yeah. Like the Kings have been pretty good with their merchandising. You know, they had the 80s era stuff, and you know, like sheesh, rappers wearing it, like everything. They know how to look good. So I'm a fan. So go Kings, go on this one. All right, nothing more to say, Andrew. Kings did good.
They did good.
All right. Next, Minnesota went with the North Stars look again. This time in green.
And again, you're kind of running out. I mean, they literally did the same thing as last year, just changed the colors.
Yeah, this was white last year. Now it's green, and I think we're gonna see. They're eventually just gonna be this color. That's what's gonna happen. They've been wanting to be the North Stars for a long time now. Eventually, this is the way it's gonna be. So, and I mean, I don't mind it. Their current logo is gorgeous. Just make it green and yellow. And green and yellow is a good combo to have, as the Oakland A's have shown. So, that's great. All right. Next is, if this thing will actually scroll down for me. Thank you. Yeah, they have such a great logo. Next, the Montreal Canadiens, who say this is from 1978, but this is actually a Montreal Expos uniform.
Which, kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos.
It's the city of Montreal's colors, which is true. It's their colors, but it really is the Montreal Expos look. It's the same powder blue. It's the same, like the C and the like. It just looks exactly the same. And the Canadians have run out of things to do as well, Andrew. They've pretty much used all of their retro stuff from before. So the last thing they could do was just basically, all right, baseball team, let's go. So that's I like it. I mean, that powder blue is a great blue. The Expos always look like a good team. So there you go. And they have their orange logo in the LNH instead because they're French. Next, the Nashville Predators have gone with the saber-toothed cat looking directly at you, all weird looking. And instead of the Dijon mustard color, they've got with their current yellow color, which a lot of people were disappointed in. They wanted this in navy blue.
That's a very aggressive yellow.
Yeah, well, that's their current look, their current color, but people wanted a navy blue jersey, and they instead made this in their current yellow. So, and I really don't like that logo. Like, I'm not a fan of it at all. It's their work. They should have. You know what? They should have just.
The teeth are just.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teeth are too prominent, man.
Yeah, the saber-toothed cat looks better from the side. You know what they should have done, Andrew? They should have just done their Winter Classic uniform.
Yeah.
And made that yellow or navy. That's what they should have done. And they really... And yeah, once again, a team that doesn't have much to go on. So that's really... There's not much left for them. All right, the New Jersey Devils, who have also paid homage to the Colorado Rockies for some weird reason.
But again, the Devils really don't have a lot to go on. The only major... There have only been since they've been in New Jersey, there have only been 2 changes really to their uniform, to their jersey. The first was they went from the green and red to the black and red.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, last season or a couple of seasons ago, changed the striping on the bottom. They changed the striping.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. And they've never had an alternate logo, ever. They've always just had that one logo, and that's it. And they were the Colorado Rockies, and before that they were the Kansas City Scouts. And there's not really much to go on, and they weren't going to do a Scouts jersey because why would they? But apparently they did this. So, all right, and it doesn't work for them at all. It just doesn't. So that
feels uninspired.
It is because they have not much to be inspired by. So, all right, the New York Islanders have brought back the fishermen.
Thank God.
So there he is.
I will say the one thing I'm bummed about though is they didn't bring back the wave stripes.
Nope. For some reason, they were too afraid to go with it, so they just went with like just these angular-looking stripes, a little like the Ducks, a little bit.
It's like, dude, if you're gonna go with the campiness of the Gorton's fishermen, just go all the way with it.
Yeah. And this isn't even a bad logo either. You know,
it's not bad.
Yeah, you just honestly, this is probably good for an alternate logo, anyways. They don't have much either. So, by the way, it's back and it's in navy. It was in navy before, anyways. So I don't get why. I thought they were gonna go with like an orange jersey or something, but they went with this. It's not great. They can do better. I wouldn't mind seeing the logo back with a different striping pattern of some sort. All right, so the New York Rangers went back to Lady Liberty. Really, that's it. Except now it's
okay.
Yeah, now it's in their royal blue instead of navy blue this time. Once again, not as inspired.
Someone made a comment that it would have been cool if it was in red, and I am actually in agreement with that. It would be cool to see that look in a completely different color.
They probably didn't go with it because they are the Broadway blue shirts, you know. But if the Blue Jackets can wear red, you know, why not? All right, the Ottawa Senators are just as uninspired. They went back to their original logo this year or last year, anyways. So it's basically just the striping pattern from like their first third jersey, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Like it's not. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. I don't like it. That's me. We move on, Andrew. We keep going. Let's go.
Sure.
Philadelphia. Instead of orange stripes on one part and black on the other, they flipped it. That's it. It's their current white one with the colors flipped for orange and black.
Let me say this though, they're bringing back the Cooperalls for their warm-ups.
But that's funny.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Charles, a little bit of a learn-a-goof here. Back in the 70s, there were 2 teams, the Hartford Whalers, who are now the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Flyers wore these things called Cooperalls. They were made by a company called Cooper. They were basically track pants that the teams wore during game. The problem was they reduced frictions so much that if the players fell, they just slid all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, it's basically what the refs wear. The refs wear pants. So there you go. But there they are. You can see them. That's what they look. That's what they will look like when they wear them for warm-ups only. Next, the Pittsburgh Penguins have brought back the Robo Penguin, which I am a fan of. I like the Robo Penguin. And
I like the Robo Penguin, and again, that's what they wore when I was starting to get into
hockey.
So.
This was
A
not
lot of good years
Yeah.
with that logo.
Yeah, it's a good logo. It's a good alternate. I think they should just have it as an alternate logo, anyways. As like a third jersey, maybe an actual yellow third jersey. I thought they were gonna go with yellow, to be honest, because they don't actually have a yellow jersey anymore. But whatever, they did it. They did it in black. They never actually did it in this pattern before. They had like the gradient stripe and like the Pittsburgh going diagonally. So I like this one. This is one of the good ones. It's safe, but it's a good safe. The San Jose Sharks, I love the Sharks. I love what the Sharks did from a historical standpoint. They went with the California Golden Seals look, except instead of saying seals, it's sharks, which is also kind of funny because sharks eat seals. Yeah. And also, in a weird roundabout way, the Sharks are the successor of the Golden Seals because of mergers and all kinds of things and ownership, franchise rights. So this is kind of like the culmination of all those years into one. So I like it. It's an alternate color scheme as well, which the Sharks could probably stand to use. Yeah, go Seals. Andrew? No? Anything?
It reminds me of the Flint Tropics.
I love it.
Jerseys.
Yeah, a lot of people mentioned that as well. They look like the Michigan Flint Tropics or Flint Michigan Tropics.
Now I have "Love Me Sexy" stuck in my head.
So there you go. That's the Sharks.
For those who haven't seen Semi-Pro.
Next, this is ridiculous. The Seattle Kraken have a reverse retro jersey. They were made last year. It doesn't make any sense. They just went with a, I don't know, aqua looking jersey with, I don't know what their stripe pattern is from. It's the stripe pattern is meant to show it partially submerged beneath the navy blue sea. So it's supposed to look like it's popping out of the ocean. It doesn't make any sense for them to do this. I don't know why they didn't do a Seattle Millionaires thing. I have no idea.
Everyone's very annoyed about that.
Or Metropolitans, not the Millionaires or Vancouver. But yeah. And maybe they're saving them maybe for an outdoor game at the Mariners ballpark or something. But yeah, there you go. That's the Kraken. It's whatever. They needed a jersey in this color anyways. I'm surprised. But supposedly next year they're going to have an actual third jersey, and it's probably going to be in this color anyways. But whatever. The St. Louis Blues went with the yellow version of a jersey that they never even wore. This was a prototype jersey, but then they dropped it and went with whatever they initially debuted with in blue, which is a classic uniform. It's probably one of the best uniforms in hockey anyways. And it's yellow. It's a yellow this. It's fine. I don't.
Reminds me of the Denver Nuggets jerseys.
A little bit, yeah.
They're yellow.
Yeah, like the Carmelo era. Yeah. But I'm not a fan of this, Andrew, to be honest. I don't know. How about you?
It's all right.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's a one-off. The Lightning, Andrew. Here we go.
It's so bad it's good.
The Storm.
Oh, what the fuck?
So
we wore this jersey back in the mid '90s. It was our first third jersey. I mean, it was white instead of, it was black instead of white, and then so the colors are flipped a bit. Again, it's so bad it's good.
That's a crime against humanity, man. Those eyes. My eyes are bleeding, man.
Yeah, a lot of people. You either love
and I'm
this
not
because
doing it
it's
just
bad.
to chide you because I never really attack them.
You either love this because it's bad, or you hate it because it's so bad. And there's only two extremes with this one.
That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it as much as the Coyote on Acid, which is different, but I don't mind the just the silliness of it all. So, okay.
That's the thing. I don't get me wrong. I think it's, in terms of design, it's so bad. It's so 90s. But you got to admit the fact that they're bringing this back and they're not shying away from it. You know, it's in that regard I like it, and it's one of those it's so bad it's good things.
Yeah. All right. Next is the Toronto Maple Leafs with the most.
Now that's really fucking boring.
Man. Sheesh.
I mean, yeah, I was going to talk shit about the Lightning for a second, but then that's kind of lazy.
Yeah, this is like
listen, I get that the Lightning's design is bad and tacky, but at least it's something.
No, the design's not bad and tacky. It's just that blue, man. That's some strong blue right there.
Well, that's their blue.
What, on the Lightning jersey?
Yeah, the powder blue hurt my eyes, man.
Which one? The Leafs? That's royal blue.
No, the Lightning one.
Oh, the Lightning one with the storm.
The Maple Leaves just looks very basic.
Well, that's the thing. That's what people were complaining about. It's you just close your eyes. If you never knew anything about hockey, it's like that's what the Leafs look like, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And if you told this to a Leafs fan, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're wearing these now. It'd be really hard to spot the difference. And really, the Leafs have been like this for their entire history. They literally just have a maple leaf in the middle, and they just change the stripes up a little bit. And
I feel like the maple leaf itself looks like a kid who never saw what a pot plant looked like and drew it from what they think it is and just stuck it on there. It's a bad design.
It's boring. It's boring. And you haven't even seen the Justin Bieber jerseys. So, that'll come later, Charles. Apparently, the Leafs, who are owned by the same team the same group that owns the Raptors, want to do another collab with somebody, just like they did with Drake. And with Justin Bieber, they're gonna make a hockey jersey, and it's also black for whatever weird reason. So, all right, and the Leafs have never worn black as their mine jersey, but whatever. Okay, the Vancouver Canucks went with Johnny Canuck in the middle. So
I am pleased.
There you go.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's navy blue. Apparently, this is supposed to look like a 1960s Western Hockey League Canucks jersey. They've used Johnny Canuck on a I think as a secondary shoulder logo before, so it's not out of ordinary for them. But yeah, it's fine. It's an actual retro, but not retro for Vancouver because they've kind of done all of their retro jerseys by this point. So there you go. All right, the Vegas Golden Knights, who have done a reverse retro for nothing. But it's just Vegas diagonally this time in black. It doesn't really homage to...
I like the color stuff, though.
Yeah, no, the colors are fine. And Charles, it glows in the dark.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Look, as an adult, let's just say it. At 33, I still think that glow in the dark and then light up shoots are cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. That's
My
really
demons can't catch me.
Yeah, it's awesome. The stripes shimmer as well, like you're wearing gold. So the Golden Knights have had pretty sweet looking jerseys and done like cool things with the material to make it look regal. So there you go. That's the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they're a winner, in my opinion, Andrew. They're a good one.
Absolutely, very good.
Yeah.
The glow in the dark is just the cherry on top.
Yeah. Okay, and like the I guess the way the letters look kind of looks like maybe a little bit like deck of cards type of look font to it.
I guess,
which makes sense. All right, the Washington Capitals have gone with the eagle this time in black. It was never in black before. They had a black jersey back then, but it was with the Capitol building on it. So this time it's in black. So that's it.
That's kind of slick.
Yeah, no, it's a slick look. I mean, they had the same colors, same ownership, so they had the same colors as the Wizards back then too. So the Wizards and the Caps have always had, for the most part, same looking colors and same ownership. So that's why they went black and blue and gold. All right, and I think we're at the end, right? Yes, the Winnipeg Jets. With I don't know, they're boring as well. I know people like the Retro Jets logo. That's fine. I've never really liked the Retro Jets logo either, to be honest. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all of the reverse retros. We went long on that one. So word from non-sponsors. Guys, ready? People, places, things, concepts, what have you that we've been enjoying. Well, over the last week, I'm going to have to start, guys, because you guys know where I'm going with this. Charles knows. I'm sure you guys know. It's Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope. I don't have the same rule as Charles, where he has to wait till he beats the game before he gives it a review. I already know.
I feel personally attacked by that.
It's love at first sight for me already, Charles. Okay. It's Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I love the first one. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's a Mario real not really an RTS. It's a Mario strategy game, and which is new for Mario. He's never had a game in that genre of video games, and it's made by Ubisoft, not Nintendo. So those French bastards found a way to make this really cool. Turn-based strategy game. It's fun. It's simple comparison to other turn-based strategy games, which I guess is the point. It's kind of my entry point in it for the most part, even though I've played Fire Emblem, so I guess it's kind of sort of in the same vein. But Mario has weapons, and there's Luigi has a crossbow, Peach has a umbrella cannon, and then you got these little rabbits that are hanging out with you. You got to save the world from Cursa in this weird like combo world of the Rabbid world with the Mario world that's gone on for 2 games now. And it looks good, the music's good, and it's just fun. The structure for this game is different than the first one. The first one was more, I guess, the mission base, and you had to try and see if you can get better scores or and get stars that way. This one is more just beat the challenge. You can either beat an easy, normal mode or hard mode. Either way you want to play the game. It doesn't matter. You just have to beat the challenges. It's more linear in that sense. It's more of a streamlined experience. But the combat is different this time. You now have Sparks, which are the combination of Lumas and Rabbids from... So this is from Super Mario Galaxy. There's more Mario Galaxy nods in this game, which I like, because Mario Galaxy is one of my more favorite Mario games. And yeah, I mean, it's a good one. The reviews have been good. I think it's got 9 nines for pretty much across, 8 and 9s across. And I'm a fan. I'm already probably a third of the way in. I think I'm 36% done. I don't know how close to 100% I'm gonna get. I got like 95 or something percent in the first game, so I'm definitely gonna play this as much as possible. Probably get at least 25 hours out of this, I think, from the way things are going. And yeah, another line of good Mario games. So Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, promo code BLAH!
That was unexpected.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next because I don't have anything that's too crazy. So, boys, I haven't played video games in about 2 weeks. I'm actually playing WWE 2K22 right now. That's not my non-sponsor, but it's, getting me back in the gaming thing, so I can't do that. I talked about a book, so we can't talk about books. I was thinking a TV show, but maybe next week makes more sense. Francisco, I think, figured out why already. Andrew will figure out when it takes 2 seconds to register. But we're going to go with good food. And, there's a lot of burger joints in town. And there's that high, fast end kind of like fusion of fast food, but not fast food burger joints. You have your Burger Fries, which is okay. You have your Five Guys, which we enjoy. And then you have your everything else in between. But over the weekend, I had Shake Shack. And I've had Shake Shack before, and I haven't really emphasized it because I think sometimes the level of like their Shake Burger is good, but they now have something for a limited time only. And I hate when they do limited time only because I want it all the time. But they're doing a hot one spicy Shake Shack burger. And what I also like about Shake Shack is that they let you have cheese fries. And let me tell you something. If you have an option of cheese fries, we're getting the cheese fries. So I had the Hot One spicy Shake Shack cheeseburger with the cherry peppers and everything like that. And then I had the Hot Ones cheese fries with bacon on it. And it was fantastic. It was good. It was nice. The cheese could be a little bit more fluid, I would say, but I just ate all that up. It was just enjoyable. They had the sauce to dunk in for the burgers, or not for the burgers. I mean, I did dunk it in the burger too, but for the fries, and I had the burger, and it's about roughly where you get a lot of things when you get that fast food kind of burger places. They might be the same, but when I had like Burger Fi, that was kind of like, it was fine, but this was definitely enjoyable. As you see right now, the Hot Ones burger, that's what I had, and I doubled it up. I doubled up that meat, boys. I'm a man here. I need 2 patties, not 1 patty. I'm salivating thinking about it now because I have a burrito waiting for me after the show. It was good. It was good. Like the hotness is about a 6.5, 7, so it's Andrew proof. But I liked it. It was good. There was a good amount of cheese. The bacon was crispy. I just swallowed it whole. I usually just get the Shack burger because I like the cherry peppers that they have in there. But yeah, mostly can recommend it. If you have an capability to get one and you don't feel like doing Five Guys, but you want a burger and you don't want like Wendy's or Burger King or McDonald's, get yourself some Shake Shack. It's good. The Hot Ones burger is recommendable. Very tasty. Same thing with the guys. Hot Ones cheese fries with bacon. Salivate. They also have some. Oh yeah, I know. They have some good dinner, or not dinner, but dessert recommendations as well. I haven't had any of their chicken sandwiches. The last time I had it was in August.
What did you say the spiciness was?
Like a 6.5, 7. Is what
they literally put 7 out of 10 on there. Your taste buds are on point.
Yeah, well, I've had like the real stuff from Hot Ones as like a gimme joke. So I've had the bomb before. I got that for Walter for his birthday, and he pussed out, but I took it and I sweated so much. And then me and the boys, we'll get some from Pepper Palace, and then like when we have like the barbecue cookouts, then we'll mix some stuff there. So I like to think my palate's good. My doctor may hate me, but doc, if you want to keep getting money, have me do things that are against my health, right? But recommend it. It's good. Promo code. Well, it's serious, right? Do you want me to be healthy and never come back to you? You want me to be near the cusp of death and not dying so I can pay you? Hot Ones promo code against doctor's orders. Not Hot Ones, but Shake Shack Hot Ones spicy burger and cheese fries promo code against doctor's orders.
Mm-hmm. Damn, now I want one.
Do you have one by you? I would think so.
There's a Shake Shack. There's I don't know if you've been eating one here. There's one on. I had the one in Lincoln Road in Miami Beach. That's where I had it.
I mean, for $8 or $9, and you get the cheese fries. I
think there's a Shake Shack in Doral. I think there's one there. There's got to be one.
I'll recommend it.
I'll look it up. Let's see. But yeah, Andrew, you got anything?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So. I've been going to court. Don't worry for people. These guys know, but it's me helping out a friend who's an attorney in the case. I'm not in trouble. They're not in trouble.
He's the Jewish Noriega. Sorry to tell you kids that.
Anyway.
Andrew's like, who the hell's Noriega?
I know who Noriega is. So getting dressed up all the time. It's been a while since I've had to, get dressed up in a suit, all that stuff on such a regular basis. It's been a while. Sorry, I had something in my throat. So my non-sponsor is Floorshine.
What the hell is that?
It's a dress shoe company.
Yeah, cool.
I've been wearing Floorshine for several years now. It was recommended to me by a family friend. And, they're nice. They're relatively inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. Which is weird to say because their shoes are like $200 something, but I've seen a lot worse.
Pulling it up here.
They're
on
good.
Men's Warehouse right now.
They last a long time. They're relatively comfortable, as comfortable goes when it comes to dress shoes, which is generally not that comfortable. So yeah, I mean, I can't I won't be able to say like these are the greatest shoes on earth, but they are good. They do well. They hold up well. I'm going to be getting a new pair eventually because these are really getting worn out. So yeah, Florsheim, promo code relatively inexpensive.
How long have you had the current shoes?
Oh,
that's a testament to their long-lasting nature.
Yeah, those are the things that matter most. Are they comfortable and do they last a long time?
Yeah,
because I just have some Dockers and they're pretty decent.
There's some here that aren't insanely expensive. They say $130, $115.
Yeah, that seems to be about
$90. These one look like sneakers actually. Florsheim dash wing up lace up. What is this? Hold on.
I think I've had this pair for like 6 or 7 years at this point.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, that's really good for dress shoes, man. I like Dockers that couldn't survive or Rockfords that couldn't survive for some time.
You know, the problem though is, you know, most of the shoe is fine. I could keep going wearing it. It's just a few years ago, when I was walking, I guess something like ripped or whatever. So there's a hole in the shoe itself.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that noticeable, especially if you're wearing dark colored socks. But it's like, you know, they've done good work, but it's time for me to get a new set.
Alrighty. I mean, they look good, so that's really good. That's good for shoes. All right, boys. So we're at an hour and 36 minutes. We spent a lot of time on the jersey stuff, but I guess we can talk about college football, Andrew. So NBA's whatever, you know. The Lakers are not doing great.
4 games.
Yeah, Lakers are not doing whatever. People are laughing at that, so that's funny. All the Russ, what if Russ was the shooter memes are pretty funny. And so there's that. And then the NHL, kind of the same thing. You know, the Flyers have gone off to a pretty good start. Same thing with like teams like Buffalo and Detroit. But you know, things will even out eventually after a couple weeks here. So we'll see which teams actually fall back down to earth with that. So there's not much on hockey. So yeah, all right, Andrew, college football. Let's do it. Anything that sticks out to you?
So this weekend, I was up in Miami Gardens covering the Duke-Miami game, and holy shit. That was impressive.
Is that the Miami, Ohio team that you were covering?
No. The Miami Hurricanes.
What is this team?
Oh, man.
I've never heard of them. Hurricane Ian was 3 weeks ago, bud. Why are we talking about stuff that's 3 weeks ago?
The Carolina Hurricanes, right? The hockey team.
Yeah.
So, final score was 45-21, but it was a lot worse. It was so much worse. The Hurricanes, well, first off, there were 10 combined turnovers in the game. That's not including, I think, 2 or 3 turnovers on downs. 8 of the turnovers were by Miami.
And those Miami Ohioans suck.
Exactly. Damn those Redbirds, so bad.
The Tulsa Golden Hurricane, right?
So the 8 turnovers, I had to look. I looked a lot of places and I couldn't find anything, so I resorted to the handy dandy sports reference, which I guess is kind of a auxiliary non-sponsor because they're always just so awesome and helpful. since that website has been keeping track of turnovers, which is 2,000. I know it's relative in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago, but Miami has never turned the ball over that many times in a game.
Yeesh.
And it was just, it was bad. It was, I have to pull up my article because I put a lot of the relevant statistics in that. My headline was quote, not great, GR-EIGHT. Get it? Not great.
Oh gosh.
I know who Andrew's character is and What We Do in the Shadows, Francisco.
Who is it?
With that comment you just made, I just think of Colin.
Oh gosh. Colin Robinson.
Colin Robinson. Continue, Andrew. Sorry.
Yeah, I could see that. I've seen a couple of episodes.
Watch the whole thing. Go ahead.
I'm on season 2 now.
Okay. On Hulu.
So anyway, what happened was in the second quarter. Well, first off, the O-line just sucked. They gave up 6 sacks, 3 of which ended up being fumble sacks that were recovered by Duke. And one of those sacks ended up leading to the starting quarterback, what's his name? Tyler Van Dyke, getting injured for the remainder of the game. So he was okay. He was 11 of 16 for 81 yards, 1 touchdown. His only turnover was the aforementioned sack that got him injured. Their replacement, Jake Garcia, threw 3 interceptions and was sacked twice and gave up the ball. So him alone gave up 5 turnovers.
Oh God.
And by the way, 4 of those turnovers. So again, 8 turnovers. 4 of those turnovers were in the fourth quarter alone. So it was 4 turnovers through 3 quarters, and then Garcia the team just decided YOLO, and just really did not care for the rest of that game. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. There's a lot of Hurricanes fans that are.
But the quarterback
wondering
got 2 sneak, whatever runs. Wow, dear Lord, for Duke. I'm watching the highlights right now. I got it on the screen. Oh man. And what was the atmosphere like, Andrew? That's what I want to know more than anything else.
Well, for the people that were there, supposedly the paid attendance was what it was.
Like 40.
I don't remember. It was like 51. It was like 51,000 was the paid attendance, which is such total bullshit. There was probably like a third capacity at most, so like 20,000 people.
I remember I posted a guy on Twitter who literally couldn't give his tickets away. He was like, "Yeah, I'll give it to free." Like, nobody was taking them. Nobody wanted to spend their Saturday.
Playing in Ohio. I'm gonna be in Ohio on a Saturday with some guy named Mario Cristobal supposedly coaching. Sounds like a cosplay stripper name for Mario from the video game. I'm just in denial, Andrew.
Man.
Okay.
I know I know. I'm trying my best here.
No, yeah, I'll tell you this. It is exactly what I expected to be when he was hired. Because remember, University of Miami has announced the hiring of Mario Cristobal. And my text message to you guys like the guy who just lost the Pac-12 championship for Oregon. And that was always a scary thing. And then the recruiting wasn't really crazy to me. And then I watched the 73 to like 3 win in week 1. I'm like, this is all going to go downhill from here. If you're going to put and ride the coattails on beating like a no-name college, it's all bad. And it's fine. Out of all the sports I have right now, the hell that's going on with my sport teams, Miami suck. It's okay. We're not used to it. Or we're used to it. Let me rephrase it. We're not used to having standouts, even though Jalen Phillips on the Dolphins, who was a Miami standout, is very good, kids. But it's okay. I just really think about it, and I feel like it was just not even a culture hire. It was a publicity hire. And like, oh yeah, Mario Cristobal, man, he loves Celia Cruz. He loves empanadas. He loves flautas. I'm like, Manny Diaz, like the same thing. I think Mark Richt likes fucking green verde sauce more than either of those two men.
It's so funny how much Miami fans are obsessed with either completely bringing back the past or, well, he's Cuban. that's the entire thing.
But it literally has felt like that for the last couple of years. And then for me, as a very, like, I would say the most neutral Hurricanes fan you guys are ever going to meet. I think that's a fair assessment. Because I never really have the U's back. I'll just chirp and then I'll shut the hell up when they're sucking. So I get 3 weeks of being happy. It really just comes down to, it's not the unrealistic expectations of the Hurricane fans. It's just they have no concept of like reality is the phrase. Like Andrew is like, he can go and say UCF is good. We've done this. We got Gus Malzahn. We're riding coattails of Josh Whipple being good over in Tennessee. And then we had Scott Frost, and hopefully he'll have some good luck. But we have consistency. We have a plan. And then for Francisco, it's like if our boosters just stopped hiring and firing people, we would have money, but we can get something going because the gym owner said something. We don't even set a path, man. We are really just doing a line of below at the red light to go 90, 0 to 90 within 10 seconds. And that's how it feels like that administration and that organization structures it. But that literally sounds like how they also done the team too. And they get a little bit of that cocaine rush. We're like, oh, we were ranked one time up to like number 1 with Mark Richt. Holy shit. And then we got Manny Diaz. Now we got Mario Cristobal. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I can't name you a single player that I think would get drafted or bring people in on recruitments. Whereas we talk about the past, Ray Lewis just being there, chilling out. Ed Reed just being there. Guys who want to be part of the legacy. No one wants to be part of this legacy. And then it goes back to the issue of like our best quarterback for a long time has been Brad Kaya. And that is the problem. I will now get off my soapbox. Thank you for this time. Welcome to my TED Talk.
All right, Andrew.
Oh, but not Manny. Cristobal loves Platanos. So do I, punk. Damn.
All right, we're at hour 47. Andrew, anything more that stuck out to you this week aside from the game that you covered?
Let's see. Let me just go down the list. I'll give you the RCFP, RCB user poll. Georgia's won. Georgia's number 1. Or let me go through some of the upsets. There were a few upsets or close upsets this week. Number 14, Syracuse, or according to this week's poll. I don't remember what they were ranked last week. But Syracuse, who is highly ranked, almost beat Clemson at home, which is freaking impossible. I think Clemson has won like the last 30-something conference games at home. They're practically unbeatable at Death Valley. Syracuse probably should have won, but they just kind of choked it at the end, unfortunately. Let's see, LSU upset Ole Miss, who was previously undefeated and was quite high up there in the rankings. TCU beat Kansas State to remain undefeated. UCLA is now defeated. They have one loss now thanks to Oregon. Texas are still frauds.
They are still not back.
Although they lost to Oklahoma State, which is this season at least, OSU is doing quite well.
But Texas isn't back, so there you go.
Texas is not back. No. Cincinnati, who's ranked high, almost lost to SMU, but they pulled it out. Now they're heading to Orlando to face UCF, who's coming off just an awful loss to ECU this past week. If we keep this close, I would be happy. It just if we play like the team that put up 70 points against Temple, we should win. But if we play like we played against ECU, we've got no shot whatsoever. Speaking of Tulane, they escaped from Memphis with a win. That was kind of the other big games from the week. Well, Kansas and James Madison have kind of fallen off the rails in the past couple of games, which is unfortunate because they were both undefeated fairly deep into the season, but then they've lost 2 straight. FIU won a game.
Yeah.
FIU won a game. They beat Charlotte, who admittedly is really bad. But honestly, at this point, every team compared to FIU is considered good. Charlotte was heavily favored. They were at home, and they still got beat by 19 points. Holy crap. What happened? And the crazy thing is, I believe there is, and hot take alert here, I think, hear me now, I think FIU could go bowling this season.
He's Andrew's sniffing that cocaine and driving 90.
I'm serious.
On the
though.
Palmetto.
I swear to God, I'm serious. They're 3-4 right now. Their remaining games are against a 2-5 Louisiana Tech, and it's in Miami, which it's basically a neutral site game at that point because no one goes, but at least it's not an away game. So in that regard, it's considered home field advantage. Then they take on 4-4 North Texas. They're probably going to lose that one. I think they have a shot at the Louisiana Tech game. They're probably going to lose the North Texas game. FAU 3-5. I think they'll lose that one too, given the past. But it is at FIU, so again, the quote unquote home field advantage. They're probably going to lose to UTEP, who's 4-4, and then Middle Tennessee is 3-4 as well. Middle Tennessee beat Miami. That's not saying much though. So I don't know. It's an outside chance, but if they took down Louisiana Tech and FAU somehow, and they upset in another game, they get to 6 wins, and that's bowl eligible. What the bowl committee does from there, I don't know. There are instances every now and then where a bowl eligible team doesn't get to go to a bowl. But I could see a 6-win season. Maybe no less than 5 wins.
If they go bowling, we should just go, just for the sake of it.
I know.
It's like, we're headed to Shreveport, Louisiana, everybody.
So who knows?
Swamp Bowl or whatever.
That is a hot take rivaling a summer's day in Miami. I would look like a genius if going forward halfway through the year, and I say that they're going bowling and they do go bowling, I would look like a fucking genius.
Well, keep the receipts. like that. That's the good thing about this podcast is that you get the receipts of shows, such as me saying the Astros are going to sweep us, and also
I
how
was
Matt
looking for
Ryan
that
was not
audio
the
clip,
end
too.
of
I couldn't
days
get it.
for the Titans.
All right. Okay.
I probably said in the group chat.
So that's the hot take. Hot take for this episode. Andrew says the FIU could go bowling.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, UCF's playing Cincinnati. FIU is playing Louisiana Tech this weekend. I'll be covering that game. And then FAU is playing UAB at home in Boca. Let me see what Miami is up to this weekend. See,
They'll be playing.
I know. No. They're away in Virginia. They're going to Charlottesville to play Virginia, and they're coming back next week to play Florida State. So that should be interesting. And it's on ABC.
Yeah, it's a
November 5th.
prime time game for whatever reason. So
Why?
Listen, Francisco, if the tickets are cheap, I'm just saying. Crown Jewel's happening that day, but it's not out of the question.
I've been to the Miami FSU game before and a pro play.
I could literally be like, both these teams suck. Go FIU.
Oh man. All right. Okay.
I'm not paying $150 for to see those two teams though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna
I
spend.
hate myself.
If we get the tickets for like $50 or something, just for some
Debatably, yeah.
Yeah,
fair,
like we should all just go just for the stupidity of it all. Andrew, you should just cover it. You should just cover it from the press box if you want. You get it for free. But yeah. Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm attempting to cover that game.
Okay. All righty then. Well, that's it for I guess the college stuff. So we'll let's hop on to the petty train, everybody. Let's do the NFL. We'll try and run it down. We're at an hour 56. Mm-hmm. Try and run it down fairly quickly if we can. But there's some pettiness that will be popping out on a couple of our stops, so we'll go from there. Alrighty. Let's see NFL scores. Thank you. And let's see more, please. I want to see more, and we'll go down the list they have here on Google. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. As soon as the stupid thing loads, come on, there you go. All right, okay. So no, that's next week. What are we doing? Okay, so Thursday night football. The Arizona Cardinals won, but did they really? Right, Charles?
Well, Andy Dalton was handing out some tricks and treats to the Cardinals defense.
Yes, he was.
Kyler Murray was asking, Cliff Kingsbury if he could play Call of Duty during halftime, as he did nothing ineffectively, and it was all that defense.
Yep.
That was laying waste.
Yeah.
I watched that game. It was not good.
Yeah, no, the Saints are not a good football team. But they could still win their division. So we'll go from there.
They still can win their division.
The Ravens beat the Browns 23-20.
Thank God. Even that false start call was BS, but still, it's the Browns, so F them.
Yeah. The funniest game of the week, the Carolina Panthers defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-3. And man,
I did not have that on my bingo card.
Tom Brady, pretty much Millhouse's dad right now. Just doesn't know what to do without. I forgot what his mom's name was. Like Sheila or something. I forgot his mom's name in The Simpsons, but
yeah,
he might as well be living out of the divorced dad's Econo Lodge there.
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is not a good coach.
Not Bruce Arians. Todd Bowles is not Bruce Arians.
Not Bruce Arians.
Sheesh. Tom is going to drag him out. Tom is going to go try and drag him out of retirement, and Bruce Arians is like, nope, I'm a happily married man. That's what he's going to be like. Oh, man. Okay.
To be honest, I know that Charles had given me permission a couple of months ago to switch back to Jacksonville as a fan. And to be honest, I I hate jumping teams, but I don't know. I was kind of torn, but then I see Tampa Bay get destroyed by Carolina, and I just laugh.
Oh man, it's
I almost feel like I have to go back to Jacksonville because like I felt this sense of disappointment when I saw them.
You know they only have 2 wins though, right? Contemplate that decision.
Yeah, but they're scrappy, you know. Doug Peterson, he's got the hair with the visor.
They have Shaquille Griffin there.
Yeah.
They have Shaquille there.
That's true. He got one of his boys there.
That could be Andrew's big push.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has the hair as well.
You know, it's the here's the funny thing. I realized a few years ago that, you know, for me who kind of jumps around a bit, I feel like once I've experienced a deep playoff run with a team, I'm basically set. You know, my fandom.
That is pure definition of bandwagoning, my friend.
I still support the Rays, even though they've had really shit years in the past.
Yeah, but they're a consistently good team, though. Like that is a team of a decade.
But when I first became a fan of them, they sucked. They went to the World Series and then they sucked for several years.
But you kept with them. But you kept with them loyally, though. Like that's the thing. Yeah. We're not saying you're bandwagoning every bit, but your statement of like once we get a deep playoff taste, you know, it's like the hit. And Jacksonville, the deepest thing that they had was going in 2015. You should have stayed.
Wait a minute.
2015 was it?
They went to. Hang on, sir. Hang on. They went to the NFC Championship in 2017 and almost made it to the Super Bowl.
AFC Championship,
but they blew it in the last quarter. I remember watching that game while I was studying for the bar. I was in the student lounge. The game was turned on. I couldn't focus on bar prep because I was watching the game, and I was very sad when they lost the game.
Yes. And then, you know, they got Urban, and then you jumped on to Tampa after they won the title.
With Gabe Davis there, you know, I'm just saying, like Gabe Davis, UCF guy. I'm like the Bills are good, you know.
Well, I think with college players though, you can support a guy though going into it. It just makes it sweeter when you have like your college guy in your actual professional team.
That's true.
I don't think there's a single hurricane on the Titans, but we're going off the beaten path here. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on then, because we're at.
Andrew's not a bandwagon.
2 hours.
He's been a Tampa Bay fan for 2 years now.
His moral compass kind of affects him actually at the same time, so that's why. The Bengals, so they're 35-17 over the Falcons. So in a very winnable division as well. The Lions suck. Lions are a terrible football team. Dan Campbell's not a good coach. They lost 24-6 to the Cowboys. The New York Giants pulled off the win over Jacksonville. That was actually a compelling game.
That felt like 1997, man.
Yeah.
That 1 yard, half a yard in, cashing in, couldn't break that play.
1 yard short. The Jaguars put up a good fight, that's for sure. They're becoming more scrappy.
Did you say 1997?
Did I get 97, 98? Listen, 99. I don't know years, man. My brain is foggy sometimes.
Are you talking about the Titans Super Bowl?
Yeah, Titans Rams.
That was 99. Yeah, that was 99, my friend.
99. I'm old. Let me be. It is 2022, man.
All righty. But yeah, Jacksonville's scrappy.
33.
They'll get better. All right. The petty China stops in Washington this time, guys. The Commanders beat the Packers.
Let me get my...
The Durs versus the Curs.
Or like Green Bay Packers beat themselves, right? Because God knows it's got to be someone else's fault for the team just sucking.
We got a good meme out of it.
The sucking as I look at the 1997. But you know what's great, though? I mentioned 97 because I'm an idiot, and then Andrew had to correct me, but you know who was the 1997 Super Bowl champions? The Green Bay Packers. You know who is not going to be the 2022 Super Bowl champions? The Green Bay Packers. As I said it last week, I'm going to reiterate it. How many more excuses are you going to make for a guy? If he doesn't trust his receivers, who's the problem? If he can't convince his coach, or the coach can't say, hey, we pay big money to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to run the ball, they're not running the ball, who's the problem? If he's only throwing for like 116 yards a game, where's the accountability? If he's going out there saying that other people should get some reps if they're not playing so well, who else do you have when your GM basically didn't show up properly? What's the fandom when they go and say, oh, and the analysts go and say, hey, he doesn't have a first-round pick after Charles dropped you some hardcore knowledge of first-rounders who mounted to nothing as wide receivers. I'm loving the decimation of Green Bay because you know what the crazy part is? It shouldn't have happened at all, right? None of it should have happened. The concept was we're going to let one guy go, Davante Adams, and we're going to build something for special because the quarterback leads the team. But what people forget, I think the problem with what we live in today's media, and for a lot of people, is that this concept that the end-all, be-all, you need a quarterback to win it all is very true, but you do need above-average players to get there. That's basically how Philly won their Super Bowl. Yes, I have seen Tom Brady win a Super Bowl with Jabbar Gaffney, or at least get to the Super Bowl with Jabbar Gaffney. Don't make me go through the history of time. But even the best always had someone there. Never really had to be first-rounders. But the dick riding, I'm trying not to curse as much on the show anymore, but it brings it out of me. The dick riding that so many people made on Rodgers' last couple of years, saying that he's the guy. When 5 years ago, I came on board almost. I said, I don't see it. Feels so good now that Davante Adams is helping Derek Carr achieve certain levels of success, even though it's the Raiders and Josh McDaniels is probably not a good coach. And then seeing Mike LaFleur, who can't rein in his own dude. Because really the simple solution is, all right, what's our weaknesses? How can we make Rodgers happy? Let's run the ball stuff. But, you know, when you're going out there and saying, hey, our guys are not doing what it is, you should talk to them. You should ask for something else. Or what you always read in these analysts that I love saying is like, clearly Aaron doesn't trust his wide receivers. Well, whose problem is that? That's up to coach. So it's fully dysfunctional. It's basically like the Brady Bunch, and everybody started dating each other. You know that's not full stability of a family. We have an unstable family in Green Bay, kids, and it's great. I love it.
Well,
Penny Train's going to ride on because the problem is the Vikings are not better than them in theory, but they're going to take it away. And if Packers miss the Super Bowl, what's the personality going to be? Because I don't think Rodgers is going to retire, but he's going to force that trade out. After what we see Russ just do, after we see what happens to Matt Ryan being old and trade out, I'm loving it, guys.
Yeah, and somebody's going to take that anyways. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to take it. Next stop on the penny train is in Tennessee. The Titans.
Let me get my bag. Let me get my accountant. Let me get the people from Chase handing out some receipts. The dick riding. And I like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, I'm not trying to catch you with any strays. These are for the people who said that you being implemented in a team is going to be the reason why they win the AFC South. They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to go deep. They obviously don't watch football. And that's my contention with a lot of people. Y'all watch too much Red Zone. Y'all read too much of Matthew Berry fantasy football stuff. You guys go on little power rankings and you don't actually watch the game. I don't watch the game, but I've been watching a lot of football lately, surprisingly. And Matt Ryan, not only can he not score points anymore, he can't stand anymore because the guy's getting decimated, and this Colts team is just crumbling at its feet, and the Titans are just going on.
He was already past his prime. Like Atlanta wasted his prime years. It was gone.
Yeah, and literally, it's not that he was just past his prime. They were saying they were going to go deep in the playoff run, and it really, you know who I feel bad for? Carson Wentz. Owe this man an apology. Owe this man an apology, people. You know, with Ryan, it's not Ryan Grigson, it's Jeff Irsay or Jim Irsay, talking all that trash, saying Wentz was a leader, all that stuff, and then you allow Chris Ballard, your GM, to trade out a third round draft pick, which is kind of a high pick, kids, for Matt Ryan. His bloated contract had to restructure it, all to achieve nothing, and you didn't surround anything with what you have because it's just Michael Pittman, it's Alec Pierce, it's all these guys that aren't like amounting anything, and you're like, we have Jonathan Taylor, but you're running into the ground. Your offensive line's a mess. Your defense ain't doing anything. And now you're like 3-4-1. You just now bench Matt Ryan, and now you're going to start Sam Ellinger from Texas. Ellinger from Texas to go all the way out. It's not fair to Matt Ryan to see how his career ended, but his career really ended 2 years ago. But hey, I can't blame him for not retiring early and lose that money. It's really kind of on Frank Reich's side, and it's also on Ballard and then Irsay, who are just kind of finger pointing because yes, Andrew Luck's retirement screwed you over. No one told you to trade around a first round pick for DeForest Buckner a couple of years ago, right? True, correct, and that's what they did. You could have used that pick, which I think would have been 25th in the draft, to combo it for the next year, for the future. You don't plan ahead, and you make excuses. And you know what your problem is, Indianapolis? You want to be too much like us. I'm going to say this. The only time I'm going to defend Mike Vrabel's offense at all. You guys want to be too much like us by making a power run-heavy team, focusing solely on defense and the run. And let me tell you something. There can only be one gold, garbage can, and that's for Mike Vrabel. The rest of you are just regular color, and we won, so suck it.
Alrighty. The Raiders beat the Texans. I didn't pay attention to that game at all. The Jets. Oh man,
snooze fest.
Man, Russ is not cooking, guys. The dangerous sandwich, whatever you. So somebody had to pull a sandwich line because of this man not being able to cook. That's how bad this has gotten in Denver.
Well, he didn't play. It was Brett Ripien.
I know, but they still have to...
It's more about like Nathaniel Hackett being a clown.
Well, he is. But at the same time, they still had to pull a sandwich out of a sandwich chain. I don't know who's brought... How did Russell Wilson even earn a sandwich at this point? It's not even funny.
I mean, Subway's is pretty mid, so of course they're gonna advertise a mid quarterback.
Mid quarterback. The Chiefs beat the 49ers. So, first game with McCaffrey in San Fran. It's quite a beatdown.
They do realize having the most handsome team doesn't win you a Super Bowl, right? Because now they added McCaffrey.
Yeah, I know. No oozing sexiness is going to help them there when, Patty Mahomes is doing his thing. The Seahawks, guys, they are leading their division. And Justin Herbert does not have...
Did they play again this week?
They beat the Chargers. Yeah, Justin Herbert has never had a winning record in his career. His total career starts, he's never had a winning record. So people are like,
I don't know. I still like him.
Yeah, people like him. They're just some people are trending on dogpiling him on being overrated now. Some people are. I'm just
here's the thing. This is where I defend quarterbacks. Yeah, this is where I defend quarterbacks a little bit. They don't play defense. Yes, they have to put you in positions to win, but they also don't play defense. Mm. And if your defense can't stop the run, Kenneth Walker had 168 yards carrying the ball. Mm-hmm. There was no Henry Handy this week, by the way. Sorry. Only 128 yards, but you need a touchdown and the win. So Henry didn't get that. But, and then Geno didn't get any pressure on him, so he just tossed the ball. Quarterbacks can't play defense, right?
Mm. The Dolphins beat the Steelers. I watched the game.
Wow, what a ugly fucking game.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it started off with the Dolphins.
Do you know what was the prettiest thing about that game?
The uniforms.
That field and those uniforms.
Yeah, everybody, every time the Dolphins wear them, why don't you wear those all the time? They don't listen to me. The Marlins don't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. And I, as Rita Repulsa, saw the game, and initially I was like, they had the two quick scores. I'm like, is Tua it? And then the game kept happening. I'm like, nah. Tua it's still not it, guys. The Miami Dolphins defense is it. It's not Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah. All right, his head was bobbling around there. The Steelers are definitely not a good team. That's for sure. So there's that, and but it's definitely the Dolphins were saved. Tua at the end was saved by the defense because he had a chance to drive at the end of the game and try and get the Dolphins at least a field goal to seal the deal. Didn't do it. Had two shots at it actually, but and the Steelers had two shots at the end with Pickett, but Pickett had Pickett when the Dolphins defense won the game with two clutch interceptions, And the Dolphins' defense is it, but Tua ain't it right now, guys. So I'm still petty. I still have my own petty and hatred. So Rita Repulso is still gonna. I'll get you next time. Okay, and then the Bears and the Patriots game. That was the last one.
Yeah.
Zappy. People were talking about that. I don't care. Hey, folks. Francisco here from Sports Goofs. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcasts on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, let's go. 2 hours and 14 minutes. Let's head on over to the cage. Charles, he said it would be a little bit shorter this week.
Welcome everybody. Your weekly Truplex The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer: wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It's a stage fight. It's a story about men and women beating the holy hell out of each other, establishing their legacies, chasing championships, just trying to put their names out there for your entertainment. And you know, guys, it's always a good day when Vince McMahon is not running my show. Makes me very happy going from there. It is a short cage, not just because of timing, because I'm hungry, but I would say there's not too much going on. Last week was AEW versus WWE on Tuesday, NXT versus AEW Dynamite, and they had some stiff competition with all the sports going on, but AEW slightly edged out NXT, depending how you read those ratings and those numbers and demographics. You might say that's a good thing or a bad thing, where they went against each other, but they were not really going against each other, guys. They were going against all the other sports that were showing. But it's good for wrestling for them to go from there. There's rumors that Warner Bros. Discovery, in regards to AEW, is trying to do a long-term kind of deal with them, and then have it kind of propelled as a sport and, basically advertise a sport. So diversity is key. Like we talked about burgers with Shake Shack and BurgerFi and Five Guys, when it's not fast food, but kind of hybrid fast food, you kind of want that in your wrestling because it puts more eye on the talent, creates some bidding wars, and also gives people, what kind of flavoring of ice cream they want. You want chocolate, you want vanilla, you want strawberry. We'll watch these kind of wrestlings to kind of go from there. New Japan stuff's happening. Interesting stuff's happening going with WWE because Carl Anderson, who is the never openweight champion, is scheduled both to defend his championship November 5th at the New Japan pay-per-view, and then also at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, which is at Saudi Arabia. And then now he's saying, well, New Japan did clear with my agents, so I was on a verbal agreement, so I'm going to go with WWE. So essentially he is not defending his title. And New Japan's not going to obviously, have him vacate the title for whatever reason. Maybe they see something on the horizon, but it's kind of like a middle finger from WWE and also Carl Anderson to New Japan, is where he made a lot of his fame, but he's not getting the money. But I don't know. Loyalty means something when you have to do independent work and contracting and make it through, because people hire you and fire you and recycle you. So I get it. But AEW coming to the rescue because FTR, the Revival, formerly known as the Revival, are defending the New Japan championships on that show because it got special permissions for AEW. But that's kind of expected too, because they have titles everywhere. But I think that's just an interesting little overblend of a few things. Impact, things are happening. People are leaving. Some have already showed up at AEW. Some of them are rumored to go on to WWE. So we'll leave it at that. AEW, I'm wondering when the Elite's coming back. Ace Steel, who was part of that Brawl Out situation where Kenny Omega was fired. CM Punk, they're negotiating a buyout. I don't know how I feel about it. There's matches I liked with CM Punk, and there was parts where I was like, his age is kind of showing. But you know what? The thing about wrestling, if you're entertaining and memorable, that matters, I would say, regardless. And there was some enjoyment. I still love his match versus Eddie Kingston at Full Gear. It was definitely a damn good match in my opinion. The Elite, though, I kind of miss them. I kind of want them back. At Hangman Adam Page, I sent you guys the clip of it. He landed on his head during his match with Moxley. He has a concussion. He's okay. Hopefully he's cleared. Give us some time. It was a nasty bump on the head, man. And that match was kind of interesting. I was watching it as we were doing the show. And then when we finished the show, I went to go from there. All best wishes to Hangman. I like him. I'm a big proponent of him. You guys know this. But they did set the main event for Full Gear. Or was it Revolution? Yeah, it's Revolution. I believe so. Yes. I don't know if there's too many. No, Revolution's in March, Full Gear's in November. Too much wrestling. I got to remember all this stuff. You guys should be happy I even know my own name, my age. I couldn't even name my team's like Super Bowl loss, but I can know this shit. Explain that to me. That's the Charles verse right there. It's going to be MJF cashing in his chip opportunity to go against Moxley in November. So we'll talk about that when that time comes in. We'll go back to our regularly scheduled stuff. Watching Dynamite next week or this week after I come back from the gym. Look at that bump on the head. Gruesome,
Yeah.
spooky.
Yes.
Ooh, not good. Yeah. WWE going to spookiness. I'm only going to highlight the main roster and then we'll go to Halloween Havoc. So main roster wise, Bray Wyatt's back. He had that little promo. It was very chilling. It was very emotional. And then from last week or 2 weeks ago, and then Friday, he sent another one. We talked about how he's going to bring a lot of hurt to this world and he's not going to regret it. And then they introduced like another character that they're going to call Uncle Howdy. But I don't know if it's like an idea of the movie Split where he has all his personalities or it's going to be a faction. All I know is I'm kind of about it. They say that Bray is slotted as the top babyface on SmackDown, which I don't necessarily agree with because I don't know how you're going to compel when you're talking about a guy who's going to leave a world of pain, not regret it, but he's supposed to be the babyface. So who knows? And also, you got to keep him away from Roman as long as you can. I don't want them to go have any title interactions. Maybe after Roman eventually drops the title in the year 2032, can you have Bray and him go at it? Side note, Sami Zayn, follow me on the Twitter. Follow us on the Twitter. Charles the True, Dan Frijoles, FJOAJR, Sports Scoops.
No.
I can't emphasize enough how much Sami cracks me up.
Oh, no. How do we tell him?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's how you're going to know it. I'm loving it as week by week, day by day, it happens. Sammy's just winning my heart, and I know that betrayal's going to come, but damn it, it's going to be good. He just makes everybody crack. And then Logan Paul, they're propping up for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So Jimmy J and him were just trying not to, attack him. Roman's like, hey, don't attack Logan Paul, whatever. And then Jay's a hothead, and Sammy's like, hey, you're a hothead, don't do this. And it happened, and then he got knocked out by Logan Paul. It's just interesting, compelling drama. And I just love how Jimmy and Sammy are, where they're just looking at my dog, and I'm just laughing. My parallel laughs. My shirt came in. We the ones, boys. I'm so excited to wear that. I wore at the gym already doing deadlifts, and that's why my back hurts, because not only was Sami Zayn carrying that show, but he was carrying my spirits, trying to work out. Halloween Havoc was this weekend. I watched it Sunday. It was the NXT pay-per-view. Well, technically it's not even pay-per-view anymore, boys. Triple H, Vince kind of transitioned it, but pay-per-views are now called premium live events. I'm still going to call them payper-views because I can't break that habit after 30 years. But I will say it was a decent pay-per-view. There's some matches I phased out on, but a lot of things that we kind of predicted did happen. The weird match for me was the casket match between Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller. I get it. I understand where they went with it. Did I enjoy it? Not so much. But some of the other matches were definitely enjoyable itself. I'll kind of do the rundown real quickly of what I thought, because I think the predictions were pretty spot on. Wesley won the ladder match, so he is now North American champion. Good for Wesley. I enjoyed it. That was good. Cruz versus Waller. That's right. Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. That was entertaining. It was a weapons wild match. Stuff happened. Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp in an ambulance match. Not bad. Julius got his revenge for his boys. Kemp got thrown into an ambulance. Time went on. Manny Rose defeated Alba Fire in a very half and half match. Like half of it was cinematic, and then later on they came back in. It reminded me of that House of Horrors match between Bray and Randy. Wasn't crazy about it. Mandy retains the title. I think they're setting up the path for Roxanne Perez to finally beat her and then go from there. Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and JD McDonough, that triple threat match. Damn, that was good. Ilya, that mad Russian, was so close, boys, to winning the title. And then what happened was McDonough extended his arm to stop the 3 count from the ref, and it was good psychology. Breaker ends up winning it. This really goes to show what I've said a while about Breaker, how he might not be the guy just yet, but when he's around talent that's better than himself, he'll raise up to their level. When you ask, you wouldn't say, hey, Charles, what's a good talent? Because remember, championships, they're just kind of premeditated. I won't say false, but they're premeditated to a degree, just like the Astros winning the World Series and the Red Sox winning the World Series. Rigged. So what comes as a good talent, though, is people who look good on their own process of things, offense, defense, and who can make the opposing side seem elevated. And then there's some people who are talented enough on their own on certain merits, but elevate when there's another side going against them, that instant chemistry comes in. And that's what I felt about that match. So I'm really looking forward to when they eventually get to Ilya and Braun Breaker going at it, because Ilya Dragunov had the best match of the year against Gunther when he was still Walter in NXT at the Takeover 2 years ago. I think I gave that match of the year because we already know Gunther is going to get match of the year with Sheamus at Clash of the Castle. That was just me slapping me. If I had to convince you guys to watch a match this year that sells you on wrestling, it's that match. It would be for everybody listening on the show. It's not going to be Roman versus Logan. It's going to be Gunther versus Sheamus. It's hot fire. But I like what I'm seeing potential-wise out of Braun. If they don't go with Dragunov, I think they'll go with Breakker and Carmelo Hayes, and that could be an interesting thing. I wonder how long they're going to keep out for, because I do expect Breakker is going to get called up come Royal Rumble. And here's the thing, guys. It is October 25th. The year is almost over, so I got to start compiling my list of other matches besides Gunther and Sheamus, because just like my costume at work, I'm going to be the best dressed, and that match is going to be the match of the year, so we got to figure out what the second best is. Can't wait for that. Halloween fun, too. So that's all I have for y'all on this week's edition of The Cage. I think that only took me like 8 minutes, but it was some highlights, so, that's it for this week.
Okay. All right, so that's it, guys. I think that's all we've got for this week, so we'll see you guys next week for other things. All right, bye.
Good night.
Take care.
まどかちゃんとゆいちゃんだ。
ねえ、ポケベル鳴らしてるんだから電話してよ。今度いつお店来てくれるの？
今日後で顔出すよ。
本当に？
なんだよ、俺の言うこと疑ってる？
信じたいけどな。
そんなこと言うなよ。ほら、お小遣いだ。
信じてるよ。
女ってのは器用なもんだね。
ありがとう。じゃあまた後でね。待ってるよ、錦山くん。
いつの間にか大した顔じゃねえか、錦。
お前さ、俺があの女たちにまんまと小遣いせびられたと思ったろ。けどそうじゃねえ。女とつながっとくことが大事なんだ。いいか、組の上にいる兄貴たちは基本的に女にモテない。あの人たちは見るからにヤクザでございますって格好してるからな。
それがなんだ。
だから兄貴たちと飲むときいろんな女連れてくとそれだけで小遣いくれるし、俺の組での覚えもめで